Do you only play Genji or do you play other characters?
I mean, I can play other characters, but like I mainly play Genji.
Cool. Just playing it out, and then the first thing that I'm gonna comment on is team comps. So, um, we're running monkey comp. We actually have a nice pharmacy here. Our comp is actually really well structured, to be fair. Obviously we have no speed, or Anna has to set up, but other than that, you should be able to set up dives with your monkey. Based on the fact that, yeah, literally. We would be able to outtempo them with this matchup fairly easily as long as we can get the setup. We can jump on the Anna, we can jump on the um, Hanzo. Technically, we can jump on the soldier, especially if he tries to isolate himself. Remember, their DPS have to look for angles. Their DPS gets value from getting angles and trying to get the pick on our Anna.
Yeah.
But in doing that, they are isolating themselves. So they might actually separate, and then for us, that's a trigger. We have to react on triggers. Do you understand what I mean by triggers? Just a mistake, something that can be deemed as a mistake that we can go on to, basically.
Yeah, like just the opening to dive, like
An
when they're
opening to
separated.
dive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, just basic. This information is more useful for the monkey than the Genji, but movement abilities can be used to soft dive, so to pressure front line and then drop, or a hard dive, which is a commit,
Yeah.
which actually the intention of getting a pick. Or you can put movement abilities to gain space in certain circumstances, as long as it doesn't
Uh,
enable the enemy DPS to do things around it, basically.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, we'll play it out. Their diva is going to have to play extremely passive because of your Pharah as well. I reckon that they will have to make changes if it's played correctly. Nice. So, even though you went in, not necessarily with your monkey, you still output quite a lot of damage and you force the Suzu, right? A,
Uh,
a good monkey, especially based on the line of sight of our Anna, Anna could easily walk up. A good monkey would be able to understand that a Suzu has been popped and we have like a 14-second window to actually engage, right?
yeah.
Um, However, we'll see what your monkey does. Your monkey has realized this. That's really good. But obviously, you had to get back and get your heals and stuff like that.
Uh,
Um, so timing of the engagements, in my opinion, I don't think it's the end of the world because you are still going to do stuff. But it could have been slightly more coordinated. Now we've gone in. We're dealing damage. That's fine, and we're being able to spam.
here I fucked up. I got fucking knocked back by the diva.
Yeah, you don't want to overly aggress like that, especially if your monkey
Yeah.
isn't the one holding um, aggression. Right now, I don't really understand what monkey is doing. Monkey is kind of tunneling. Technically, I have no issue with the Farah being a space holder in this circumstance, right? Because this position here, she gets free spam on the choke. If Diva comes out with her defense matrix, Farah would be able to fly up here, you know what I mean? And then not only would that force the
Yeah.
defense matrix, but it would also force the fly from the Diva. Um, but Farah still might die, and then they would be able to stabilize. With me saying that regardless, but try to think of Overwatch less about actual roles.
Uh,
Typically, Monkey is the space holder, but in this circumstance, Monkey is kind of playing the role of the core, whereas Farah is playing the space holder. Because you have a space holder that's already established in the Farah, you don't want to be in front of her because right now she's your tank.
yeah.
You make the mistake by dashing in my opinion, that's bad because now you have this wall and this wall cutting off your LOS from the Ana, and the Ana, in order to PQ, would have to position herself literally here,
Yeah.
which is a lot longer. The rotation time from there to here is a lot longer than the time to kill for them on you. So the dash is objectively bad here, in my
Yeah.
opinion. You get booped in, which is unfortunate, and you tried to disengage, but you committed your engagement ability to engage, or your movement ability to engage. That's
I
the
was gonna get
mistake.
that. Yeah.
Oh, your monkey's gone AWOL again.
Yeah. I don't know.
And now you're far.
Let's do
What? Monkey just has to die. There's no getting back from there.
McCree's looking at him.
Yeah. My monkey gets out,
Very
but
nice.
his downtime was way too much. He gets back and dies
Yeah.
straight away, which means more downtime. I do like how your pressure from the diva made her fly down here, which means that your Farah. Let me just see how that's set up. Oh, coming back to spawn. Okay, fairs. I was gonna say by the diva dropping your Farah has free spam onto the backline. Farah will have to swap soon.
And I just died there because I fucking. Oh, sorry. I what's it called? Like there's a de-evolve and then I just got. I didn't even realize there's a soldier right there. I just got popped.
Fine pressure. Don't worry about it. That happens. It happens. I do like how you're forcing the diva to go onto you, which would allow your Farah free spam. But in this situation, if you realize that your Farah is not capitalizing on it, without flaming, I would just say in voice chat like, "Oh, like diva is on me, Farah. You have free spam right now." Like, you know what I mean? Farah will hear
Yeah.
that and probably engage because everyone wants to win the game, but at the same time, Diamond is the worst dealer for ego, so they might just tell you to shut up. Like I've NA ladder is actually a lot less toxic than EU. I will say that. EU is like a free for all for everyone. You actually can't speak without hearing slurs. So, and you're probably thinking now, like, what? NA is really toxic. Like, I trust
Yeah.
me. EU is so bad. EU is so bad. You don't even understand. That is the trenches. Nice. The Suzu's got pop, so now you can ult. Oh, that's just unfortunate. But you're marking him well. Nice. That's fine. And then probably... Okay, your micro wasn't bad, that interaction. I thought you were gonna hit the reflect straight away, but that was fine. Nice. You should see that Suzu is your go-to, your green light.
Yeah.
Okay, this is where
But
we
I
play.
realized it was just me and him. So I went back to Caitlyn. He was like 1 HP. Lucky.
You can hold cart for a bit. Like you can do that. Like a lot of the
Yeah.
times, diamonds and stuff make the mistake of having a support character on the payload, but really how
Yeah.
we would want to set it up is the almost survivable, less diveable character, right? So in
Mm.
our comp, Genji's viable, Monkey's viable, and Kiriko is viable because they're the ones that have like consistent escapes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Um, Obviously, a backline support like Anna is viable, but what can your Monkey do if the course of the car is out of LOS of any flank or
Yeah.
any dive? It just simply means that our Monkey can't engage. Really, what we would try and do is try and force our Anna to rotate um, onto a high ground, um, whilst I don't know Genji's holding car until I say Genji as an example. Genji is probably not the best example because right now Kiriko is probably the go-to to hold the car. But
Yeah.
Monkey sets up, you set up with the Monkey whilst Anna takes her long rotation to high ground before we engage. and we have to do this post fight. So if we win a fight, we have to quickly make sure that everyone is back into position so we have maximum chance of actually engaging. And then this is when the fight calling or the fight planning happens and the old charge is called out, old tracking, etc. I'm trying to give you guys, sorry, I'm so used to coaching teams. I'm trying to give you macro knowledge as well as micro knowledge. So not
Yeah.
only am I telling you how to play your character, I'm also telling you how to um, play the comp. Because you're lucky you got a ranked game where you actually have a comp, like something that is viable and runnable. Uh, Remember, Genji has decent poke. In that situation where you're out of dash range, you might as
Uh-huh.
well dash to a position that's slightly safer, not in front of their face, and then just poke them out for ult charge, right?
Yeah.
You can use the dash to get angles as well as using the dash to dive and clean up, basically. And it works the same way as a soft dive. Also, I notice when people are bunched up, sometimes you right click and hope that you hit one of them. I think in certain situations you should be left clicking. I would only really right click if you're right in front of someone. Um, and that's because the time to kill is quicker. You do the same amount of like damage per second typically if you throw like left click slash right click. But if you can get close and then right click melee, it's a lot faster than having to wait for all of the animations of all of the darts to or the shurikens to come out of you. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
left click is like da da da, whereas right click is duh because he throws all three at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was good right click left click ratio, and that was a really good secured kill. Nice, nice, good target prio, still good target prio, still good target prio. Well played. I agree with this. I like this stagger, but she hid. She hid. Okay, cool. Now, post-fight, we have to reset up. It looks like you're going to try and take space. I have no issue with this. Disengagement, that's fine. Your monkey's now holding that space. That was a really nice rotation. And when I say rotation, I don't mean moving around the map. I mean, okay,
Yeah. Like
you were the
switching
space
middle and
holder.
stuff.
You disengaged. Someone else took the space. That's really good. Bro, like, space theory and holding space and controlling lanes is a very Korean mentality. They've been doing it since Overwatch 1, right? And Korean
Mhm.
contenders, when they play like really weird comps, it's because like they play double bubble, right? That's because it's a
Yeah.
very good comp for holding space. Um, and that was something that they noticed back on Overwatch 1 when space holding and lane control was important, but it wasn't like the main game, or it wasn't objectively the main game. Now, in my
Yeah.
opinion, Overwatch 2, it is literally the main game, controlling space, controlling areas, um, winning your duels. It's as simple as that. That's how you win Overwatch games now. Um,
Yeah.
but now you're controlling the space. It's nice. You decide to ignore. Honestly, wait, let me slow it down. You ignore, that's fine. Oh, sorry, no. Now you ignore. That's fine. I would have peeked around there. And at this point, slightly before this point, I would have realized that, okay, maybe just go back.
Go back. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's downtime, but think about it. You're probably gonna tunnel. You dive here. 50-50 chance you win that. Probably you do win it because you'll shoot him first and you'll get the dash on him. But now that you're here, you go on to Kiriko. The flank might work, but they might all just turn, delete you, and then get back to the fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
So at this point, it's like, okay, yes, playmaking. You do need to be a good playmaker in Overwatch 2 in order to climb, right? But at the same time, your life is always going to be the most valuable resource in this game.
Yeah.
So
No,
you,
we get fucked here though. Like pre ults. I don't even know how he doesn't die.
um,
I know he gets damage reduction, but
I know. But
They
look,
tank two full
dash
rockets.
in, dash in. At this jump, you have to try and land in front of him and reflect, okay? This
Yeah.
from here, land in front of him and reflect. You try and go for out damaging instead of peeling slash sustaining. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Why deal damage to him? I'm gonna slow it down even more. Look, look, look. The reflect slightly late,
Yeah.
and also in slightly a slightly wrong position. You were really close to killing him, and you probably do kill him now, right?
No, I don't know. I think he's Susie or whatever this shit's called.
Bro, I hate that. I hate that ability so much. Damn. But yeah, your mentality should be like, okay, I'm the best character to counter this in the
Yeah.
entire game. Don't go for the damage. I would have even potentially committed the dash in front of him for the reflect, but
Uh-huh.
again, that's very difficult micro, and you have to be very precise for that. But it's possible. The reason why I'm not speaking is because I don't think you've done anything wrong so far, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
He's
Cool.
got. Oh wait, never mind. Never mind. I was gonna say yeah, fuck the Diva fix.
I don't think you. Nice, but you should have been left clicking there, in my opinion. But you got the kill.
I don't know. Like there, I like pause real quick.
Yeah.
Like I do like what is it? Right click. Yeah, I do like right clicks there because like even though it's like a three, I mean even though like they're the same DPS sort of like the left clicks there, just like if I'm only hit one, it like locks me into that one shot. Like I'm doing a three shot to only hit one, which is much longer than like doing one shot to hit one. Like I don't feel like I'm gonna hit all three
I do
shurikens
understand.
there.
I do understand that logic. To be fair, I do
So then
understand
I
that
just
logic.
like because I'm gonna hit one, so I just rather do it faster. If I'm gonna hit one, then like miss the other two and lock me in the animation. But yeah, I'll start doing
I'm just trying to think
left click.
because now you've got me thinking about the actual stats, right? Because
Yeah.
obviously you can always cancel the animation with a melee, but I don't know if like shooting once meleeing and then shooting once again on the left click, just in case you missed, is faster. I would have to work that out. But I do understand the logic. In my opinion, I would just say like, why not just
Hit the other shots.
wait? Did you know that the right click? Yeah, yeah. Like, why don't you just practice your left click mechanics? You know what I mean? That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Um, but did you know that Kiriko was one shot when you went for the right click and it hit?
Remember. I don't remember.
This is the thing. Because if you didn't know she was one shot, then I just say left click and just hit your shots. To be honest.
Yeah.
But if you did know that she was one shot, then I have no
Well, then
issue with the
obviously
right
it is
click
good. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you have to move your hand. If she's slightly to the right, you don't even need to move your hand. And if you know your projectile, basically the course of its projectile, well enough, and you knew that okay, this will hit the Kiriko with one right click, then instead I would say that's actually fairly good play. Like, but um, but I understand the logic, and it's been working. To be fair, it's just a bit unorthodox. Fine, dash out, very good disengagement. Nice, nice. Kind of messed up the dash, but
Yeah.
I'm with you, Genji.
interesting. In my opinion, you should treat Kiriko ults in certain instances as a Baptiste window.
Hmm.
In certain instances, when you're jumping down from here and they
Yeah.
pop Kiriko ult, it's very unlikely that you're going to kill something.
I think they
You're
popped it after it went. Like, I don't think I went after it popped. I don't know. Oh, yeah, yeah. So I did go after
and
it
now
popped.
you
Never mind.
dash in.
Yeah. Yeah. Then soldier ulted it. I was just
Yeah, cause
aiming
into
inside.
the middle of a team like that, especially without your monkey,
Yeah, yeah.
that's you just saying, okay, let's play for trades and let's just guarantee, let's just hope that our team actually wins the 4v4 instead of the 5v5. That's why I think
Yeah.
it's kind of pointless. Cause what? Worst case scenario, you die without getting a pick. Best case scenario, you die after getting a pick. You know what I mean? You die either way, in my opinion, in certain circumstances. You need to be setting up the dive with the monkey a lot more, but I can't lie to you, I don't like your monkey player. From what I've seen. He's a bit of a weirdo. Apologies if that's your friend.
No, I was just referring to you. I think he was actually like I think he had like a high peak somehow this season. Same diamond now.
Well, maybe he's just struggling playing in low ranks. It's a bit like me, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
I've got some videos, like, if you want to watch my YouTube, like, I've got some videos recorded today of me playing in plat, and it's no joke, actually, like, me running it down on Baptiste, windowing behind them and killing everything, and it's just like, the reason why I do this in plat is, like, because I can do it in plat and nobody shoots back. Well, you know what I mean? And that might just be like he's struggling to actually play to a diamond tempo, so it just looks really uncoordinated. Um, but I'll post those videos on YouTube soonish. Don't switch targets. Honestly, if you do that and they pop their abilities, there's no point in turning around and then focusing the tank. I would just keep on swinging with the intention of getting one. Like right now, do you even get anyone?
Yeah, Zarya. I mean, we got the Zarya.
Yeah. I think your target switching was slightly poor in that instance, but in general, it hasn't been that poor overall. So
I mean, because it's a Reaper that takes like 2 seconds off my
yeah,
ult. So,
but sometimes you gotta stick at it. Like Overwatch is a
yeah.
numbers game. Honestly, it's a numbers game. Sometimes, like, it's better to be one up at all
Yeah.
times, no matter what the pick itself is. Now they've gone into a ball, which is kind of good for us, because it means that we can get free dashes on people like Lucio. Nice. Yeah, what I wanted to ask, what are your goals and intentions for Overwatch?
I want to be like I don't know right now, but I want to get like masters like mid to high or mid masters. Even though I'm low diamond right now, and maybe even low grandmaster like sometime next season.
What how many game like have you been grinding it, and where did you place?
Uh, Not that I'm in. I mean, I've played like I think like 35 hours, something like that.
I'm just trying to compare that to mine. That's probably more than me.
Yeah, definitely is more.
Yeah. Um, but yeah.
I
Okay,
placed.
first.
Oh yeah, it was my first thing on PC, so I placed silver 4.
And your Diamond 5, Jesus.
I peaked diamond 3, yeah. And then,
Yeah,
dude, I went on like a 14 loss streak, bro. I don't know. My team was just like so ass
happens.
in every game.
It really does
Like,
happen.
explain, bro.
Um, you'll do it. You're a good player. Um, for sure. You'll definitely hit Masters. You could probably hit GM if you grinded it enough. I'd say GM by next season is extremely possible.
Not. I don't think I'll hit that
GM
either.
by the end of last season, I mean, like by the end of next season. So in
By
like
end of next. I
two
thought
to
you said
four
like.
months is
I thought
possible.
you were saying like by next season, like this
How
season.
many days left are there? Like 20?
I don't know. It's like December.
Yeah, so there's probably like 20 days left. I reckon
Yeah.
you'll finish around Diamond
Mm,
1. Diamond 1. But at the same time, I don't know how often you play it. Diamond 1, Masters 5-ish is
yeah.
very achievable. You're very good. You have good game sense. It's just slight micro interactions, in my opinion, that
Yeah.
could deal with some work and coordination.
Yeah.
Coordination, because things are off in terms of coordination, I could potentially say that it seems like your comms might need work. Being able to call engagements, even though you're not the tank, doing that and being able to say, okay, I'm gonna do this, can you guys play around me? Or if you ask, okay, right, this goes into more deep rooted psychology. Don't say I'm gonna do this, play around me. Don't do that, because that's how you get teammates annoyed. But say,
Yeah.
oh, monkey, if you can do this, then I could help you. Yeah, I can help you. Because then it makes them feel as if they're the ones doing
Yeah.
something and you're just going to enable them. They're going to feel like valued, as opposed to like, oh, I'm the hard carry, you guys follow me. So
Yeah.
phrase things like, oh, monkey, if you do this, I can play around you. Like, that would be really good.
Mhm.
But in order to call shots like that, effectively, you also need to understand macro gameplay, what actually works. Because it's all good coordinating something, but if the thing that you're coordinating is bad, then you're gonna get very little value. Having said that, coordination is always going to be better than no plan at all. So if everyone is following a bad plan, that will still work over a team that is just vibing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool,
Nah, we got rolled on defense, but then we were clutch. But
bro. This is such a long game. This did this end like 6-5?
no, it was like 6-3 us. But we got rolled this attack, but then we just fucked them up on the overtime.
Nice. 2-1. Oh, the Reaper character. Interesting. So they're running
But that
similar comp, but this is weird. Typically, I wouldn't. Okay. Nah, I wouldn't even say that. Reaper is kind of a weird pick because of the long sight lines on this map. Snipers are oftentimes run, but I do understand the counterplay of like a dive tank. Um, Reaper, you're gonna struggle to get value against the team, in my opinion. Um, you'll have to play around corners, play very deceptively, but it's hard to play very sneakily without having a whole bunch of downtime. You'll get periods of like a lot of downtime, but then periods of time where you're actually deleting things because they don't know you're there, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Um, it's good if people play into you, so you're gonna get a lot of value off of the enemy Reaper and the enemy Genji. However, it's kind of hard to win the matchup against the Genji. And against
yeah,
Reaper, it just depends on who's the better Reaper. So, yeah. You don't need to repeak it. You can honestly just back and then walk. Like, you never need to be the one walking forward if they're attacking, because they're gonna have to walk somewhere if they want that card progression and if they want that space. So honestly, you could have literally been shooting whilst backing, shooting whilst backing, because you know that they're not gonna be like, okay, we got this far, let's go back. They're never gonna do that. They're gonna keep pushing forward through the choke. Then the
yeah,
second they push through or forward through the choke, if you're set up like here, that's an off angle. Whilst your tank is the one holding space, you're still dealing a lot of damage. They might defense matrix up here, but then after the DM is done from an off angle, they're just gonna have to back until the DM is back, and then you've wasted what 15 seconds of their life.
yeah.
Um, that's good marking. I'm glad that you didn't drop. It's good that you rechecked that. Your target switching is better now once again. Yeah, this is fine. Keep walking. You can keep walking. You played that perfectly. You have good game sense. You have really good game
Well, then
sense.
I fucking threw here, bro.
Then you
I
just showed
dropped
that you
the.
don't have game sense. Okay.
And then I didn't even pop the fucking like I just got shredded so quick I couldn't even like
Yeah,
pop
yeah.
the
Yeah, you
burst.
shouldn't have dropped.
And then I realized they're getting like so far. Like I don't know our team was there, but that was dumb. Yeah.
A lot of this time on this map, like, just let it go through.
Yeah.
But again, that depends map by map. A lot of the times, it's like, yeah, it's really hard to push the cart if it's contested. But a lot of teams are just like, actually, cart progression is actually worth it as long as we keep high ground for as long as possible. So they're happy to push the cart through here, whereas we're happy to let them do that because we know the second that they do that and they push the cart here, we now have control of here. Which also means that we have control of here. And if we die, we'll also have control of here. You know what I'm saying? Um, this composition that we're playing isn't really about split angles, but I guess Ash gets value from a split angle. Kiriko has value from a split angle because she can poke from different angles and quickly, like instantly, switch up her angle. And then we have Monkey being the space holder slash the dive, whilst you're also Reaper is a good space holder because who's gonna push into you? No one's gonna push into you without getting deleted.
Yeah.
Um, Reaper wins the 1v1 against like 90% of the heroes in this game, regardless of their role. So that means that if they want to push into you holding space on your own, they have to commit mass numbers of people to you. Nice pick. What the hell?
Yeah. Wait. I want to see that. Wait. Go back. I want to see how they killed him. Those two people. Right. So she throws it.
It's fairs, but this is just an example of poor positioning. This is an example of poor positioning because I guess Ash is understandable because she does get damage drop off. But wait, let me see. Ah, that's on. Wait, no, she'll have time. Didn't have Suzu. That's fine. Alright, so I'm wondering here, why isn't Anna standing here in the first place? Jiggle peeking her monkey. You know what I mean? Why
I don't
isn't
know. She's
Anna
that far up.
not
She's
healing
so
here?
high up.
Yeah. And then the Ash, fair enough. If Ash is at a certain distance, she's dealing no damage. But at the same time, this angle, standing here, is the exact same angle as Ash
Wait,
standing
Ash has
here.
drop off with the scope.
Yeah. It's at a certain range, though. It's at a
Oh.
certain range.
Oh.
That wasn't a thing early season. They changed it. Remember when Cassidy didn't really have high amounts of damage drop off, and then they ruined him.
I thought he always at 70.
Yeah, but they basically did it in a whole sweep. Like they just nerfed hit scans ranges all at once, like
Oh,
every single
oh,
one of
the
them.
range. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
that. It was a long time ago. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I'm thinking, why doesn't Ash just stand here? She ruins her coach. Even if she's playing close, she could easily just coach up here, no? Surely that's enough time. I don't know. They just ruined that. They really ruined that. So what do?
Holds
You
it up and
try and
shoots.
hold space. Respectable. It's lost, but oh, Diva, yoink. That's respectable. You kind of, you know what I mean? What in the world? These are very questionable. Wait, does Bob get affected by Suzy? Not Suzy. Katsune Rush.
Probably.
That's interesting. That would be nice. Deleting. Oh, debatable. Debatable. I don't like that. Oh. They're clumped up, yeah, but you didn't even play any baiting. Like, you didn't play into baiting defense matrix before you did it. You didn't demech the diva. Also, it was a 1v5
Yeah.
because even if you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
even if you spent time to kill the diva, they probably would have killed you. It's very unlikely you're gonna kill 4. That was a really poor ult in my opinion.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. They're just popping ults to regain momentum. This is fine. They actually ruined their ult economy by doing that, so we'll take that lost fight. They now have nothing. And in Diamond, you might get some good ult trackers. You might actually be able to get someone that say, okay, they've literally used everything. This is so free now.
Popping through here.
Unfortunate. You're attempting to set up without your tank being able to set up. Oh wait, you guys, wait. Okay, cool. Wait. Oh, so your tank all went in. You just isolated. Um, your Kiriko helps with the assist, but you're winning trades. I don't think that's the worst. I don't think that's the worst at all. It allowed your team to push. I wouldn't say that's throwing, because
Oh yeah,
it makes
that's
logical
facts.
sense trying to contest
Yeah, high ground.
high ground,
Yeah.
and then they just inted on you, which allowed your team to be like, okay,
Oh,
they've committed, we can
I
just
think I
walk.
said that because like I fucked up the timing on the
Of the
headshot. Yeah.
yeah, fairs. Um, that's fine. In terms of macro play, that's fine. It allowed your team to push up. If anyone engages onto you, that basically means that they're leaving an area of space to go to another area of space, which means that your team can now move into the area of space that they just left. It's a whole big chess game. Overwatch is just chess. It's literally just chess. I have no issue with you just spamming at random people here because you're gonna get ult. What type of mercy? Again, I understand the logic behind all of your rotations and all of your decisions here. Oh my god, you survived.
Like I fucking melted somehow. This Genji or
It's
something.
all good. They popped good abilities that basically made you overextend, but at the same time, if you didn't overextend, you would have died earlier regardless. So once
Yeah.
again, I don't think that that's the end of the world. I don't
No,
think
then
that's a
after here,
misplay.
because I didn't
Jump
realize
off
that
the map here. You jump
our
off the map
tank
here.
wasn't alive.
You
Yeah, I know.
honestly jump off
And
the
then
map
I
here.
just got fucked.
You gotta you've gotta jump off the map there. Like honestly, just set up. Let them push. Don't stag yourselves even more than you're gonna have to. Unfortunate. You don't need to push partial space holder, remember that. You're now standing. Okay, now you're controlling different space and you get isolated. Ah, if you just didn't walk, would have avoided that whole big scenario. And yes, you did well reactively, but at the same time, why put yourself in positions where,
Which one? Which play?
okay,
Where I
right,
walked
just
in to kill the McCree or up to the
as
point?
in, yeah, roughly here. So basically, your Zarya is holding a decent position. You have ult, so what do you even gain from poking if you don't get a pick, right? Now you're
Yeah.
walking, this is fine. The second you see your Zarya back, do you see what I'm saying now? This position
Yeah.
right here, this is what they can see. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's not good. Does Zarya have a bubble? Zarya has a bubble, thankfully. Um, but now you're backing, that's fine. You notice McCree. Oh my god. I think where you make your biggest mistake is maybe committing the roll in to peek him. I'm gonna slow it down one more time. So if you're playing here for the whole time, if you're playing here the entire time, I'm not gonna move from this position. I'm not gonna move from this position. Cassidy peeks, you just turn, you shoot him once, and then you stick him and he dies. You know what I mean? You commit a roll in, Devo notices that as her trigger, and just goes in on you.
He actually would survive that bomb.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but like, you know what I mean. I'd said it for principal purposes. I said it for
Yeah,
principal purposes, but he does survive. He's 1 HP. Um, you, uh,
yeah. I luckily got out because of my Kiriko.
really good play, but you force your Kiriko to be out of position now as well. Like it worked, but do you see how this kind of ruins our entire structure, and it means that we've had to force so many abilities just to make the fight winnable. So now we pop the TP, good heals. We've popped the Suzu. How does Kiriko get out of this situation? You survive. Does Kiriko get into the out of this situation?
Yeah, they just forgot about her.
They
They
tunnel
was,
vision so heavily on her. She just able to walk out. They tunnel vision. A good team would have just turned and killed Kiriko regardless. It would have been like, what? She just used everything, kill her. Like, and now you back up into the corner as well. Are you familiar with the term kill boxes?
is that like hitbox?
So a kill box is where typically brawl comps. It's basically your desired point of the map, the desired area of the map in which you want to take fights. Now,
Like, oh, okay.
I'll explain. I'll explain. Um, Usually it happens with brawl comps because brawl comps like to fight around corners, and it's very easy to draw lines around corners. Um, but let's say the characters that play close range in this enemy comp, technically all of them, even though they have like a dive brawl comp hybrid just based on the characters that they have, um, they can all play close range. So let's say if they're all standing stacked here, whereas your team is defending, you have all of this open space. Yes, the fight is still winnable for them, but they would rather take a fight in an area like this where it's enclosed, they can all stack and they can literally delete everyone because okay, you can't disengage physically until you're out of this door. So this entire room for them is a fight where they would like to actually take the fight as opposed to you backing up into a more open area. If you're
Yeah,
backed up far distance in a more open area, they now have to commit a jump on you. They now have to commit a movement ability on you. Your composition, who are you playing? You're playing Junkrat, Kiriko, and you also have an Ana, right? Which means that your poke is probably higher than theirs. Cassidy is also like a pokey character at a certain range. If you're playing for the distance, you can damage them, whereas they have to close the distance. And by doing that, because they have no speed, they have to engage onto you with movement abilities. And you know what that means? That means that now they've fully committed as they have no movement abilities to disengage. Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
So that's actually yeah, that makes sense.
that is yeah, you know what I mean. That's like high level thinking in terms of well, it's a simple concept to understand, but in order to apply it when and recognize it whilst you're actually playing it, that's a skill. So you need to actually work on analytically analyzing the game. You don't want to be caught out in areas where they can just like int on you and delete you. Whereas
Oh
you
wait, well, I had a well, what is a brawl comp? Like what is that?
really okay, cool. I presumed you would know that. Um, so in Overwatch, there are three variations of compositions: brawl,
I have
dive,
dive.
and
Yeah.
poke. Brawl is a stereotypical brawl. Would be
Brawl like fucking
It would
Reinhardt.
Reinhardt, Diva, Cassidy, May, Lucio, and Baptiste. Right. That would be an Overwatch 1 brawl, but I'm gonna use that example because that is where the concept of brawl was made. Right.
Mhm.
Where there do you understand how Diva, Reinhardt, Cassidy, May, Lucio, Bap, they're all close slash medium range characters?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, they're the strongest characters when it comes to playing close range, and their only source of mobility is the Lucio.
Yeah.
So basically, the reason why I say Brawl is because typically this comp has to stay in the aura of the Lucio and go across the map together as a 6 or a 5 now completely. Whereas Dive is the only other short range composition, but they sacrifice some damage for that mobility.
Yeah.
So Dive are people like, well, Genji Tracer, obviously they have high amounts
I mean, yeah, I
of
know dive
damage.
and dive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Poke is a
Like
tip
soldier and shit.
a Yeah, so short, well, long range. Poke is long range. We find the angles. Ash, Soldier,
Okay.
um, to an extent, Echo. You have these characters that are brawl dive hybrids. Echo would be like a poke dive hybrid, right? Because she can also like fly at you, beam you, you're dead. But she can also poke from afar, get those stickies from afar. Like she doesn't have to be playing close 100% of the time. Diva is played in a brawl comp, also played in a dive comp.
Yeah.
Um, this is where it gets complicated in Overwatch 2 because if you look at any brawl composition that's getting played in Overwatch League, um, they're all hybrids. So hybrid comps are compositions that can play to more than one of those
Yeah.
comps. So you'll see Reinhardt, cool, that's brawl, right? Reinhardt Lucio, that's a brawl, cool, especially if you have like a Baptiste with them. However, Sojourn Genji are the DPS. That doesn't work. Like Sojourn is a poke character, whereas Genji is a dive character. But even though the entire composition plays to stack and plays to brawl, you'll just now have a off angle from the Sojourn that actually pokes. So it's more like in Overwatch 2, every comp can play to every single role. It's just the phases of the fight. Okay, before we're close range, we'll just poke at them for a bit. But now we're close range. Okay, this is where we brawl. Now they're running away. Let's dive on them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
It gets a lot more
Like the
complicated in
like
Overwatch
they
2
get
than it does in
conflated.
Overwatch 1. Um,
Yeah. The roles get conflated. Yeah.
the roles get conflated, and this is why I tell you don't look at the characters and think, okay, tank equals this role, damage equals this role. It's blurred lines now. It's completely blurred
Oh.
lines. Even the
Yeah.
monkey comp that's getting played now, monkey, Sojourn, Reaper, Lucio, Kiriko. People would be like, oh yeah, dive comp. But Reaper is a brawler. He doesn't have mobility like to engage with. He has mobility to disengage with.
Yeah.
Reaper's a brawler. Monkey is a dive character. Sojourn's a poke character. Kiriko is a poke dive hybrid because she can do them both. And then Lucio is a hybrid of brawl and dive because he can do them both. That's why focus on the fight as in phases. Right there was a brawl stage because they were right next to each other.
Yeah.
You backed up into here, which is where they would like to brawl. But yeah, complicated stuff, but I'm gonna record this and this will all be on YouTube, so I'll you can watch it back and hear that explanation again if you think you'll forget.
The we is pretty much like lost from this point on.
Fizz. Trying to speed it up because I don't want it to go on forever.
Yeah. Facts. Yeah. This is a long ass match.
Yeah. How many limbs did you get in the end?
I think it was like in the 40s. I don't know.
Yeah. Makes sense. I understand the logic behind that, so I'm not gonna comment on that, even though it wasn't greatly executed. Oh, committing to a Reaper is risky. Now you have nothing to disengage with. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Switching up to a hog comp is interesting. I like it though. Can't complain. Okay. Nice, nice. You're doing well. Just stay alive. Because your team will back you. Because you're
I
up.
couldn't. Yeah.
Do
I
you
couldn't see
understand
anything.
how... Yeah, nah. Don't worry. You are up in numbers, so... You can literally just wait. Wait it out. Your team will assist you if you
Yeah.
survive for that long. Also, target priority... It depends. Now in Overwatch... Sorry if you can hear the background noise. Let me shut my window.
I can't hear anything.
Okay, cool. In Overwatch, there's like a helicopter flying past. Really
Oh
annoying.
shit.
Yeah. um, in Overwatch 2, you can either go for highest heals, highest damage, or their tank. Tanks right now are kind of busted. They don't die. So highest damage is always a viable option. In this situation, it would either be Reaper, or if the fight has gone on for long, it will most likely be Zarya. Focus in Zarya first, is a viable example, but she can stay alive for so long. You have to just make sure that the DPS aren't killing things in the meantime. That's why it's kind of okay. It's chess. It's all chess. You have to just take every fight contextually, step by step. Sorry, one sec. I just got a message. Okay, someone's. Whoa, someone else just asked me for coaching. W, more money. Okay. Don't rush your shots. Honestly, don't rush your shots. I can tell you're getting kind of nervous there. Like, the more you miss, the more
Yeah,
likely
I
you
know.
are to miss your next shot.
I
So
know.
honestly, take a breather sometimes. You know what? You actually have a lot more time than you think, especially in a 1v1. Like, you can
Yeah.
actually aim. You don't have to just keep right clicking. Perma. Um, I barely want to comment on mechanics during VOD reviews because that's something that happens naturally. And what's the point of me
Yeah.
sitting here and be like, oh yeah, you're missing shots? Like, you
Yeah.
know that you're
Like I
missing
know.
shots, man.
Yeah.
Nice stagger on the Kiriko. That's really
You got
nice.
the Bastion. I know you don't like Bastion, but
Now you should think about creating space in order to disable them from actually being able to push up. In my opinion, you hold this high ground and you just wait. You
my
hear
teammate
footsteps.
Mark Speaker. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. He popped something. Nice. Nice contesting. She now has no abilities. Nice. Instead of inting after the nice, nice. That's you using good critical thinking skills, right? You knew that the Kiriko had no abilities, but instead you thought, wait, this is a higher percentage chance of me actually killing something and getting out. Because this Anna is being isolated, being pushed out. Whereas that Kiriko, yes, she's vulnerable in the sense that she has no abilities, but she's stacked with her team.
My fucking die here is not like I don't know how that Zarya shit at that much range.
Unfortunate. Good idea. Very possible that you could have gotten out there, so I have no issue with that.
Nah, the Bastion pick went crazy though.
Nice. The reason why I like that ult is because it was zoning. Do you notice how he put it
Yeah.
across the entire Kitsune? So now they've
Yeah.
forced themselves out of that position for a slight second and they've forced them to come close. Now they're forced to walk into a hog and the Bastion. Whilst Kiriko still has... No, she just used it. Ah, okay, first. But yeah, they have to play into our range now. They're gonna commit abilities because they're so close. And you have Blade. So this is perfect. This is perfect. This is perfect. Anna's isolated, but he's won. Oh, you're lucky you didn't lose her. Nice. Jesus. God, take your time, man. You very rarely miss
I
shots, but
missed
you're
one
missing.
shot. I
You,
missed one shot.
nah, but I'm saying, like,
That was one shot, bro.
no, but you need the consistency. And Masters, you'll need that consistency. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, Diamond, you're getting away with it. Whereas, like, if you're in a one-on-one with an Anna, you shouldn't be missing. You know what I mean? Especially,
Yeah.
like, you shouldn't be missing. Shouldn't be missing. Just take your time. Remember, like at high levels, I reckon you're better than Diamond. In my opinion, you're better than Diamond. Um, so that's why I think about optimization, being optimal,
Yeah, yeah.
as opposed to you should have checked their spawn for longer because usually people spawn back and usually people don't want to jump off the map because they're idiots. Nice, you held.
Exactly.
Well played.
Bro, it was a mirror match. I mean, same map. Agree.
I'm glad you didn't pop your dash to get the kill as opposed to dashing out. That's fine. Oh, nice. Oh. Similar logic. They're all in here, so my logic is why aren't you shooting at the people in there? Maybe it's because there's more direct counters out here or in here, but Let's see. That Kitsune Rush might have been clutch. These ults are clutch. These
My
ults are.
deflect was fire. My deflect was fire though.
Yeah, yeah, it
Like,
was, it
like
was. Nice. Very minimal mistakes, to be fair. I doubt they stall for long. Nice.
then I got a buck Junkrat. I was
Yes,
thinking like,
sir.
I was thinking like, yeah, because that's one of my like problems too. Like I like think like not to play Genji on defense, but I was like, I didn't know who to choose, and I was fucking with the Junkrat.
One sec. Ran over. That's crazy. Okay. I don't know if you know about EU contenders, but team that I'm trialing for got 0-1 esports in a competition. Apparently they did well. We lost, but we did well. But 0-1 is like one of the top contenders teams in Europe. So uh, it's a Saudi Arabian team, but Europe is linked with Saudi Arabia on servers, same way like some of the Americas are linked with like OCE. Do you see what I'm saying? The funny thing is, the Junker actually counterplays the enemy Bastion.
Yeah,
Right now, how do you win? Well, their comp is kind of scuffed. Honestly, just be careful of the Hog's presence, and we win. Honestly, you can pretty much match up against anyone else, other than the Genji consistently. But at the same time, you're evasive enough to make it difficult for the Genji to kill you, whilst people on your team that can kill the Genji can actually kill the Genji. Right now, you're playing a lot closer to the Hogs I would like. But nice. I noticed that place of the mind to displace him just in case he did actually. I have no issue with this. I have no issue with this at all. Okay.
a little geometry going on right here.
Okay, okay. I was gonna say, right. Okay, I was gonna question, like, is this the most valuable position for spam? I guess it's decent. I guess it's decent, but now you dropped and found, or attempted to find a more
Yeah,
valuable
that was
angle.
why. But then I got two, so
Oh
it didn't
man, your
matter.
healers are decent. I wish I was playing in diamond lobbies right now, man. This game actually looks enjoyable, but I'm in the depths of plat. It's really annoying. Nice, nice, nice. It's unlikely that you're going to find value here. Like, yes, it's technically like a corridor tunnel kind of thing, but right now is a bit too much open space. You might be getting more value from holding the high ground. Um, right now, the only people on your team that can hold the high ground is, yeah, Hog is decent at it. But it will require a rotation. Lucio is also decent at it, but you're just as good as the both of them. If you're thinking more critically about holding high ground and stuff like that, if you have that mentality, you're probably more likely to do it than the rest of your team. So you might just want to put it on yourself to do that. They switched to Diva. Oh, you didn't have to commit two there. You just ruined your first mine. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I just fucked up the
Oh, you
first one.
just triggered
Yeah,
someone.
I know. That was unfortunate. That like random ass trap worked. I got fucked.
Maybe the
I was
micro
by
could have been
myself
better
down there.
there. Like, that's killable position. You could have actually hit that combo correctly, but unfortunately you didn't. Don't play into the Kitsune Rush. See, the thing is, you have an awful overtime comp. And it's not awful in terms of bad, it's awful to play into. Like, I absolutely hate it. like Junkrat
Okay.
Tire, so Hoggle, and the Torbjorn. If you go to a comp like this, and considering you got all 6 points, it's very unlikely that after like 3, 4 ult rotations that you won't get them all off point. Cool for heals. No one's healing you, unfortunately. Spamming into the diva will do nothing but bait Matrix. I
That's what
just
I was
will
gonna
say
say.
that. Cool.
I was fucking just blocked it.
Again, in terms of the actual micro gameplay, it might have been worth trying to actually force a more aggressive angle and mine the backline instead. In
Yeah.
the hopes that Diva turns. You know what I'm saying? Diva will stop what she's doing to protect people. So if
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
doesn't do that, it's free spam onto the backline. You get picks regardless. But if she does, it will completely distract Diva and get her to change her style of play. Whereas what you were doing was enabling Diva to play how she would want, but just, you know what I mean, with extra defense matrix poppage. You know what I mean, like um, you were just spamming at the Diva. Diva was popping defense matrix, but she was comfortable. Whereas if you're getting an aggressive angle, it will force her to be like, oh no, you know what I mean, turn. Then all of a sudden you're on the front foot, as opposed to it being a complete 50-50. You were doing something where, and she was matching you completely, as opposed to you getting an advantage and her having to react in order to match you 50-50.
Yeah.
A lot of the game is to do a momentum and outthinking your opponent. So if you can think more critically, you definitely have decent enough game sense to hit masters and decent enough mechanics. Nice. That's not bad at all. Decent game sense and decent mechanics to hit masters. I definitely think that you won't struggle all that much. It just comes down to playing the game more. Because even me, yeah, like you on DPS characters for sure, you have better mechanics than me. I placed Plat 5 Overwatch 2 because I was low masters at the end of last season.
Well, I mean, I never played PC Overwatch
Mm.
until this season. Until this, yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. I was low masters Overwatch 1, placed low plat just because that's how it worked. The soft reset.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Everyone in my elo placed low plat. But after 200 games or 300 games maybe, I've only gotten from plat 5 to plat 2. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I'm actually struggling to climb because I don't know. Maybe my mechanics aren't up to scratch, but um, you've been able to find it. Wait, what? Oh, okay. You've been able to find a decent rhythm. I've just realized now, if I click on F9 to spectate you, it doesn't show that orange bar that it shows other people, but that's because you popped your tire. That's so weird.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Um, nice. One pick on the support with 3 seconds left. Perfecto. Couldn't ask for more.
That's good.
And the game's ended. Nice, nice, nice. So you need to improve your critical thinking, trying not to get like overly worried when you need to hit the shots that matter. You do well hitting the shots that don't matter, but when it comes to hitting the shots that do matter, just consistently. With you, it's definitely about like trimming things, like making sure everything's nice and presentable, as opposed to actually learning new things about the game. The fact that you didn't know about a brawl comp might tell me that your game sense about Overwatch specifically is lacking, but you're maybe perhaps talented in terms of like understanding games in general. Are you good at every game that you play?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, I've managed to deduce that just from a conversation with you, basically. Um, you understand how games work, you understand how to outcompete people, you understand how the enemy teams think. You probably have a good understanding of human psychology and sports psychology, whether or not you've studied it. I don't know if you have studied it, but you have a good
No.
understanding of it. That's
Yeah.
probably just a pattern recognition thing, like you understand, oh, people will react in this way. So do your research with Overwatch for sure. Like, there's no harm in looking at people like Karq. Karq is really good for content, and he's not fake like half the people on TikTok. Typically, I will say don't go to TikTok for tips other than me and some other people that I could potentially recommend. Because a lot of TikTokers are very casual. YouTube, there are some pretty good YouTubers out there. Um, Try to look for content by actual coaches, not just high level streamers. ML7 is not bad. He's an exception for being an actual streamer and not a coach, but has decent content out there. ML7 does say some things that I disagree with, but typically they do help, like the ranked mentality where you have to do things in order to work, as opposed to me as a coach. I like to focus on collaborating with other teammates and enabling your other teammates as well as improving your own individual performance.
Yeah.
Um,